So the alkanes are, as I told you earlier, the alkanes are also referred to as the paraffins. Paraffins means that means the alkane has a less affinity toward the reactions. As we have seen in the previous lecture, that the chemical reaction involves the extension of the electrons. The type of electrons involved in the chemical reactions is that the type of reagent required for the reaction. So, as we see that the bond is forming by the sharing of two electrons. Sharing of two electrons. Suppose the bond जब form होता है तो क्या होता है डायरेक्ट. So for example, this is carbon, and then the bond is forming by sharing the two electrons. One electrons of carbon and another electrons of hydrogen. So in this way, that's why the word is from the dielectric type of reagent required for the reactions. In the alkane, as all the bonded electrons are present as a sigma bond electron, it is difficult to break such bond without use of highly reactive and energized species. So, as I told earlier, that the alkane is undergoing the sp3 hybridization, and in the sp3 hybridization, the carbon is in the compatible zone. So it is very difficult to break the bond. So for that breaking the bond, we require a highly energized species to break the bond. A free radical is one such species. It is formed by the homolysis of a molecule brought by the use of the thermal or the radiation energy. So how that free radicals are generated? The free radical is generated by the homolysis of a particular molecule, and that homolysis will occur. That means that homolysis is occurred by using the thermal or the radiation energy. So here the halogen is widely used for the bringing of the halogenation of alkane. The only reaction given in your syllabus is halogenation of alkane. So we will focus on the halogenation of alkanes only. As I told earlier, the free radicals are generated by using the high temperature or the UV light. So here is the reaction that the halogen split into the two halide radicals. So the halogen molecules, the homolysis of halogen molecules will occur in the presence of the high temperature of the UV light that results in the formation of the halide radical. That will result in the formation of halide radical. Here you can see that this halogen in presence of the UV light or the high temperature, it will result in the formation of the two halide radical. So these are highly energized species. These halide radical are highly energized species, and it will easily abstract the hydrogen from the alkane. The free radical so formed causes the energy absorbed during the homolysis and are highly unstable due to its incomplete octet. This halide radical halide radical possess the high energy. This high energy, this radical is taken this high energy from this reaction unit, from this reaction condition. Either we use the high temperature or we use the UV light. From that high temperature or from the UV light, this halogen takes that energy, and in the outermost orbital of this halide, uh, there are only 7 electrons. So because of the 7 electrons, there is an incomplete octet. Uh, for the completion of the octet, we require 8 electrons. But here there are only 7 electrons. That means for that reason, these halogen radicals are highly unstable and hence are highly reactive. The unstable, the unstable halogen radical wants a stable as early as possible. So these are highly reactive in nature. Alkane needs such species like the radical as a reagent for their reaction. So alkane require a such highly energized species that is a free radical for carrying out the reactions of alkane. Further, alkane being a saturated can undergo the only substitution reaction. As it is a saturated organic compound, so always a saturated organic compound undergoes the substitution reaction. That means the one hydrogen is substituted with one halide molecule. So on the basis of that, the reaction of alkane is called as a free radical substitution reaction. So that is called as free radical substitution reaction. So the reactions of alkane is broadly labeled as a free radical substitution reaction. It's a characteristic reaction of alkane. So alkane always undergoing the free radical substitution reaction. Now the most important and the useful reactions of the alkane is halogenation. The reaction can be generally summarized as this reaction is generally summarized as RH. RH means alkene. This RH is react with the chlorine or any halide radical in presence of the high temperature or the UV light. It will result in the formation of alkyl halide and the hydrogen halide. It will result in the formation of alkyl halide or the hydrogen halide. So here R is nothing but a CH3. That means CH3 plus H is methane, C2H5 plus H is ethane, etc. And H is nothing but the fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and the next one is iodine. So this is the generalized reaction of this halogenation of alkane. Now we will take the example. The methane in presence of the chlorine and high temperature of the UV light, it will result in the formation of the methyl chloride and the hydrogen chloride. Now, with a closer look at the reaction, we find that during the reaction, see here, during the reaction, the CH bond and the Cl-Cl bond breaks. Here one can see easily that during this reaction, the CH bond from here, that means this bond, the CH bond and the Cl-Cl bond. These two bonds are break while the new Cl bond, a CCl bond, this one is a CCl and HCl bond is formed. So from that reaction, one can easily interpret that uh, uh, that during the reaction, the CH bond and the Cl bond breaks, while the new CCl and the HCl bonds are formed. An apparently simple and small reaction thus involve the multiple process and step. If we look at a glance, one can find it very easy. But uh, the process of bond formation and the bond breaking involve the multiple processes and the step. Do all their step occur simultaneously, whether this bond breaking and the bond formation process occur simultaneously or sequentially, or it will form any sequence. That means bond breaking occur first and then bond formation will occur. That is called as sequential step of reaction. And simultaneously means the bond breaking and the bond formation occur simultaneously. Then if it is a sequential, the reaction is sequential, then in what sequence? If it is a sequential reaction, it will follow a particular sequence. That means the first bond breaking will occur, then the bond formation will be perceived. Then in what sequence? So that we have to understand. If it follows some sequence, then why that sequence? Why only that sequence? If we consider the halogenation of alkane, it is a sequential reaction. That means the bond breaking and the bond formation process occur sequentially. So, in what sequence and why that sequence? Answer to all these questions uh, can be found in what term as mechanism of reaction. So, what is the sequence and why that sequence? Answer to all this question is term into the mechanism of reaction. So that is called as the mechanism of reaction. Mechanism of reaction thus one can define, one can easily define the mechanism of reaction is a logical, see, this is an logical stepwise description of the reaction. This is logical. Mechanism of reaction is what? Mechanism of reaction is nothing but a logical stepwise description of reaction, justifying the role of each species, Here, in this case, it is methane and chlorine and the high temperature involved in the reaction. So that is the definition of mechanism of reaction. So mechanism of reaction is nothing but a logical stepwise description of the reaction, justifying the role of each species involved in the reaction. Now we will see the reaction mechanism of halogenation. A mechanism is only a hypothesis. All the reaction mechanism in the organic chemistry are nothing but a hypothesis based on the existing and the available experimental data and details. So this hypothesis is particularly based on the existing and the available data of experiments and its detail. So mechanism is only hypothesis based on the existing and the available experimental data and details. it's subject to change as and when experimental results contradict the reported facts. So this mechanism also is likely to change. If someone says that the mechanism of hallucination is not like this, as it is reported uh, reported earlier, um, if the experimental results are contradicted with the reported facts, then the scientific community will accept that mechanism of action, mechanism of reaction. So that's why a mechanism is only a hypothesis. On the basis of experimental facts and the details, obtained through laborious experimentation carried out in the laboratory over a long period, the mechanism of hallucination of methane, that is the alkane in general, is purported to be as follows. So we will see the mechanism first. So in the first step, what will occur? See, we have the reaction vessel, and in this reaction vessel, we added methane and the chlorine, and keep that reaction vessel on the high temperature or in the UV light. Then, in the first step, the homolysis of the chlorine molecule is occurred to form the two chloride radicals. Here, we can see the homolysis of chlorine molecule will occur. Homolysis means the electrons are equally shared by the two chlorine radical. If it is not so, if the electrons are not equally shared, then it will form the ions, that is the cations or the anions. So, in the first step, the homolysis of the chlorine molecule to form the two chloride radical will take place. This is the first step of the reaction. And in the second step, what will in the second step, what's happened? One of the chlorine radical, as these two are highly energized species and highly unstable in nature. So that's why this chlorine radical wants to stable by abstracting the hydrogen as a proton, by abstracting the hydrogen as a proton by chlorine radical to form the methane radical, and hydrogen chloride. So this is the second step. What happened in the second step? The abstraction of the hydrogen by the chlorine radical. Abstraction of the hydrogen by the chlorine radical to form the from the methane to form the hydrogen chloride and the methyl radical. Now in the third step, this methyl radical abstraction of chlorine as a radical, by the methyl radical. That means in the third step, the abstraction of the chlorine as a radical by the methyl radical to form the chlorine from this chlorine molecule to form the methyl chloride and the chlorine radical So, and this is the step 1, this is step 2, and this one is the step 3. Now then the step 2 and then 3, then 2 and 3 will go like this. The reaction thus is the chain reaction, which continues through the repetition of the same of the steps. Thus, this reaction is called as the chain reaction. That means the first is the this step after the generation of the chloride radical. Then the chloride radical abstract the proton from the methane and form the methyl radical and the hydrogen chloride. And in the third step, the methyl radical obtained in the second step will abstract the chlorine molecule as a chloride radical and form the methyl chloride and leave behind the one chloride radical. And this chloride radical again goes into the second step. And this chloride radical again abstract the one hydrogen from the methane molecule. So in this way, this is a chain reaction. Among the three steps, the step 1 is called as the chain initiating step, while the step 2 and step 3 are called as the chain propagating step. So on the basis of the experimental facts, the step 1 is known as a chain initiating step. That means it will initiate the chain first. The chlorine molecule in presence of the high temperature or the UV light, the homolysis of the chlorine molecule will take place and results in the formation of the two chloride radical. Then one of the chloride radical will abstract one hydrogen from the methane and form the methyl radical and the hydrogen chloride. The methyl radical obtained in the second step goes into the third step and abstract the chlorine as a radical, get himself stable and form the methyl chloride and leave behind the one chloride radical, and this chloride radical goes into the second step again. In that way, the reaction mechanism of this halogenation will proceed. Now, we will see the other experimental facts. This is the proposed reaction mechanism, that is the sequential reaction. That means the bond breaking and the bond formation occur in a sequence. Now, we have to see by that sequence only. In the chain initiating step, the chlorine molecule undergo the homolysis under the influence of the high temperature or the UV light to form the two highly reactive chloride radicals that we have seen. The radical, each radical is what? Each out of an electron. Search for a one in the species available in the reaction vessel. So the radical, the halide radical, is always in a search of such a species so that it can abstract one electron from the available species in the reaction vessel and get himself stable. In the process, they collide with the methane and abstract a hydrogen. Now, what happens in that process? The collision will take place in between the methane and the chloride radical, and the results of that collision is nothing but the abstraction of the hydrogen atom along with one electron, and form the CH bond of the methane and form a Cl bond, leaving the methyl group an unstable and highly reactive radical state. So that we have seen up to second step. Now, one note is there. The chlorine radical must have also collided with other unreacted, unhomolyzed, intact chlorine molecule for stabilizing itself. But such step won't take the reaction any further. Hence, such step is called as a probable but non-productive step. So there may be a chances that the that the chloride radical we obtained in the first step, the, the chloride radical we obtained in the first step, that will collide with the chlorine molecule available in the reaction vessel. That is the probable step. One can say this the chlorine radical which is highly energized and unstable in nature, it doesn't bother about from which molecule it will abstract one electrons or not. But but such a step won't take in the reaction any further. If this reaction is occur in the reaction vessel, then we will get a product like this. But ultimately, the experimental facts, experimental data, and the experimental details tell us this reaction does not occur. At the end of the reaction, we are with the methyl chloride and the hydrogen chloride only. So such step is called as the probable but non-productive step. It will not result in the any product. So that's why such steps are called as probable but non-productive step. In the third step, methyl radical in its search for an odd electrons to complete the octet around, around the carbon of the methyl radical collides with the chlorine molecule present in the reaction metal and abstract the chlorine atom, thus satisfying the carbon needs of the octet, but leaving behind another unstable reactive chloride radicals. So this will occur in the in the third step. Here also methyl radical must have collided with the methyl molecule abstracting the proton, but without taking the reaction any further towards the product. So this also the probable but the non-productive step. The methyl radical can abstract the hydrogen uh, from the another methane molecule and get himself satisfied and forms the methane and the methyl leave behind the methyl radical. But this also the probable but non-productive step. In the same reaction, at some later stage, even the following reaction may occur. In the same reaction vessel at some later stage, even the following reaction may occur. That means the chloride radical will collide with the chloride radicals and form the chlorine molecule. This may occur. Methyl radical will collide with the methyl radical will collide with the chlorine radical and form the methyl chloride, and the methyl radical collide with the another methyl radical and form the ethane. Such steps are called as chain terminating step. So these three steps are likely to occur in the reaction vessel, and such steps are called as a chain terminating step, as the product of such steps are no more reactive and the chain terminates there only. So these three reactions, that is the collision between the two chloride radical, the collision between the one methyl radical and one chloride radical, and the collision between the two methyl radicals are chain terminating steps where the chain terminates. An interesting fact about this reaction is that a small amount of this is also interesting fact. This reaction we have to proceed in the presence of vacuum only. In the presence of vacuum only. If uh, if if we have not applied any vacuum, then the reaction does not proceed. The reason behind that is the small amount of oxygen can stop the reaction, and the duration of stoppage of reaction is proportional to the amount of oxygen present. This is called as inhibition. This phenomenon is called as the inhibition. It occurs due to the formation of the less reactive radical. So this less reactive radical, here it is the methyl radical formed in the second step is directly react with the oxygen and form such type of the radical. This is a less reactive radical engaged with the oxygen, which can comfortably bear an electron on itself due to its electronegativity. Methyl radical is not only rendered itself inactive, but also is unable to propagate the chain further. So that is why the halogenation of alkane is carried out in vacuum only, that is in the absence of oxygen. So the chlorination of methane, thus the chain reaction whose three-step mechanism can be summarized as: the first one is the homolysis of the chlorine molecule to form the two chlorine radicals. In the second step, uh, abstraction of the hydrogen as a radical by the chlorine radical from the methane to form the hydrogen chloride and the methyl radical. And in the third step, abstraction of the chlorine by the methyl radical to form the chlorine molecule to form the methyl chloride and the chloride radical.